Hey, everybody. Michelle is here. It's March 1st on a Wednesday. I'll confirm it before closing out here. But it's amazing the delusion we're under. And it's amazing how we can lie to ourselves and assume this and assume that. I was just running some errands. And while at the checkout counter, um, this person that was, there servicing me as well said, he was talking to somebody else and he said, you know, back in the people always talking about the good old days, when there were real men playing football, and he started naming these white players. He says, those are real men right there. He says that they don't whine and complain when they get a little injury or something like that. And I immediately countered him and I said, sir, that's a lie. He said, excuse me? I said, that's a lie. I said, if these so-called good old boy white football players had known that they would have brain damage as a result of poor equipment, or I just went into him and countered him. I said, if they knew they were going to have brain damage, they would not have taken up this sport. I can guarantee you that. Okay, and real men. I didn't. And what else did I say to him before I left? I said, you should not be advocating for violence. In other words, to prove that someone is a man. Isn't that's like contradiction on the contradictions? So you're saying unless men are creating violence, they're not real men? So I left him like, whoa. And so that's what I mean by countering. If you feel safe in doing so, I feel safe in doing so. And when I left out of the place, I said, and I send peace and love to you. And he says, well, I send peace and love to you. Even though he was being sarcastic, at least he said it. Okay, I know what area I'm in. And I told you it's mostly white supremacy, no matter where they work. And KKKs. Okay? But I still respect them, and whether they respect me or not is actually irrelevant. But I counter him. So I'm saying to everybody else, so unless men are creating violence and causing violence, they're not real men. You see how foolish that is? So I just want to give you an example of how you have to counter things. You have to counter it and move on. Okay, you don't need to be sitting, because I left him speechless actually. So that way I got in what I need to get in and I got the hell out of the store. Because I'm not going to be arrested for, talking to these white supremacists and these KKKs, which are, the police department is part of it all as well. I'm not stupid, but, I'm not going to jail for nothing. Because you know what happens when black women do anything. Okay, we immediately get arrested, but yet others can do whatever the hell they want, say whatever the hell they want, take their clothes off, put their ass in people's faces, and it won't even faze anybody. They would even probably drive that bitch home. If any other non-black person was doing that, they'll drive those people back home and make sure to get in their house safely. So that's what you have to also consider when you're doing these counter face-to-face with people. Make sure you consider your safety. Okay. And luckily I had a person that also was serving me, and she was of a Hispanic descent. And she heard me counter this man. Okay, because I'm sure he's talking that bullshit all through the establishment about what real men are. He has no fucking clue. Okay? So that's what you have to do, when you're doing these strip and planning these movie themes and ideas and such. You gotta experience it to get in. You have to get in character. You understand what I'm saying? Get in character. All right, so I feel fantastic. I'm getting ready to start this day and do what I got to do. But these are the things that you can insert in your experience as you are, planning for your movies and planning for your books. Kind of get into character a little more. Be creative. You know what to do. I send peace and love. And trust me, I'll be back.